Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the Seven Figure Fitness Business Podcast. And in today's episode, we have two very special guests with us. We're interviewing one of our clients who have absolutely turned things around in their business. They were struggling and they were on the verge of actually going to get part-time jobs to support themselves so they can fund their business. And now using paid traffic, they've been able to do consistent 10, 15K months, and they're knocking on the door of their next 20K month. So I'm excited to have Greg and Kristin on here with us. And if you're in need of inspiration, if you're struggling, or if you're just wanting to hear their journey, tune in because I think you're going to get a ton of value from today's episode. What is going on, everybody? If you're tuning in, I want to introduce you to some incredible, awesome power team here. Greg and Kristin, excited for them to be on here. So I want to give them an opportunity to just introduce themselves and kind of let us know who they are and what they do. So Greg and Kristin, just kind of tell us about your business a little bit. What do you guys do and who do you guys serve specifically?
Mainly right now, we've been targeting and helping a lot of women, kind of the 45 to 50-ish range, a little broader than that, has been kind of our main target audience since we've started doing ads. You know, lifestyle towards like overall health, but really with a focus on fat loss generally, and then just trying to get them in their best shape all in all and best health.
Okay. How'd you guys get into that? What led you guys into getting into the fitness industry and what led you to starting an online business?
It really goes back to both of us. We're very active, you know, all our lives really. And, you know, I think I really got into all this when I was about 19. Had other careers along the way and kind of did some of this on the side for a long time as we were building out what we now do and coach on.
Yeah.
You know, and just learning over the course of our lives and through study, through trial and error.
School of hard knocks.
Yeah, somewhat school of hard knocks. And both of us, you know, we got fairly fit like in our 20s and everything, but not quite where we wanted to be. And then in our like 30s and everything, we got that story where we both were struggling, even though we knew a lot of things about health, fitness, and we're studying all that stuff and practicing it, and testing it and everything, researching. We started getting out of shape, started gaining weight. I ended up with like 40 pounds to lose. Kristin had like 25 to lose. She's a lot, you know, smaller frame. She's like 5'5", right? So like her 25 is kind of like my 40.
Yeah.
But
we got chunky together.
Yeah, we got heavy together. And then like we were trying all the old stuff that we had done before and it wasn't working for us. So then we really dove in and just didn't give up until we came up with a system and program that started working for us. And then we started helping clients and all that kind of stuff with it. You know, it really just changed the game. Like all of a sudden it was easier for me, which it typically is for guys, right? As we go, you know, I was getting into my late 30s or so at that point. I was actually still working as a career firefighter, paramedic, and lieutenant and doing the fitness stuff on the side. And Kristin was getting frustrated and, you know, she just couldn't drop the weight no matter what. And some things were working for me a little bit, but they weren't working for her at all. So we really focused on dialing it in. And I guess with her being in that target audience, like when I got my first six pack when I was in my early 40s, you know, even though I was pretty fit and like flat stomach, you know, and strong and all that stuff when I was even in my 20s and everything, like that's when I got my most fit. And then she finally honestly got her most fit like that she'd ever been. And like she'd tried everything, like all the different diets and stuff back in the day, like all that different stuff, right?
Your ideal client. And right now, like your ideal client is women like Kristin, right?
Yep, I'm the avatar. You know, I've got hypothyroidism. I was going through perimenopause at the time and I couldn't shake the weight. Now I'm in menopause, right? I've had partial hysterectomy with some other issues like that. Like my hormones have been all out of whack. So there's so many different angles that I can work with women on because you know what? I've been there, I've done that. And Greg has been there and done that with me and helped me through that.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, I guess you could say I was kind of the guinea pig and we're just hoping to help other women like
I mean, no guinea pigs, just prototypes. You're the prototype and
yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So what did you guys want to accomplish business-wise when you had decided you wanted to join the program?
we had tried a lot of different things. Like when we first started doing some of this and tried to do it as a business, just to give a little background, like we had tried kind of going down the ebook route a little bit to start. And we actually tried some ads back then. This is a few, 3-4 years ago now about, and we were really struggling with that. Like we couldn't get ads to work on that premise. We got some advice to kind of, move into more of the online coaching space. And we started trying that, but we were trying it we actually signed up for a coaching program. We tried it with all organic. And it just like, we got off the ground. We started to have some progress, but it just wasn't consistent. And, it was really burning us out for us to try to keep up with that. It just wasn't our jam. And I don't mind doing some organic, but like, we just really wanted like more like systems, automation.
We wanted a formula too. Cause like with organic, like we just didn't know what kind of worked, what didn't. There wasn't any specific formula that we could get to work for that. Yeah.
And it's hard to be consistent with it because you're not really gathering measurable data where it's like, with ads, if once you start getting data, you're like, okay, this type of headline works really well. These types of pictures work really well. This type of copy works really well. And you can have like measurable data that you can use to make decisions through, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was too emotional versus like data driven.
Yeah. And why was that really important for you guys to figure out?
Well, for us, like we really went all in when we did this stuff. Like, again, we were doing fitness stuff on the side. Kristin had moved on from a job, and then I actually left my long-term career to do this because we were that passionate about it.
Yeah.
And really just wanting to help people in this realm more so. Like, for what it's worth, I used to be on the other side of people that were unhealthy, weren't taking care of their health and fitness, eating right and exercising. And quite honestly, I'm the one pumping on their chest, trying to bring them back to life, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And injecting drugs and shocking them in that business, right? So we really wanted to get on this side and be on the front end. And honestly, I feel like I'm kind of saving lives in a way more now because I'm getting ahead of the problem and helping people.
Taking preventative measures, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. So that they don't get to that point, and most of those people don't come back, frankly, is the reality of it, unfortunately. So we really wanted to make this work. And so we made the shift, right? Like we dove into our passion but like we left everything. We were living off savings and all that kind of stuff, and so we were in some tough times at points where like the organic, just with what we were figuring out with it wasn't working for us well enough to be consistent and, make up for both of our salaries and all that to keep us afloat. Yeah. And we're draining like a long-term savings we built over time. And we've done pretty well in life, at that point so far compared to the average, I guess. But, we really wanted to help other people more and do more. And we just needed a sustainable, like something we could depend on, right, to start building with the systems and ads. And we needed help to get there. Like we just weren't figuring it all out on our own.
Yeah, we needed to do it quickly too. So, that's why this program just seemed like a godsend to us, something that we could get up and running quickly and just get that model going and bringing in some income. And, as we're bringing in income, then we can tweak it.
Yeah, absolutely. So how did you find us? What made you want to give this a try and kind of walk me through the process of seeing and hearing about us for the first time until you decided to sign up?
So we were, we've actually, it took us a bit to find you guys and find the right coaching program that really was for us. And we got things, out of other ones. It's not that we didn't at all, but it wasn't the right thing for us then. And
we had been in 3 masterminds
overall, over the course of like a year or so, not even a year. Yeah. And so, or this was the 3rd, let's put it that way. But it was somebody else's success story really that triggered it for us. And that individual now works with you guys and is a coach for you guys now. So.
But she also was in, how we knew her, she was also in the other masterminds that we were in. So she found you guys and got great success. And then
she told us about it.
Then she told us about it.
And we're like, okay, let's do this. Like if it's working for you, then it can work for us.
Yeah.
Because what she was doing in the same coaching program we were in previously, like it just wasn't quite getting her where she needed to go.
Yeah.
And so, that was kind of enough to kind of give us the trigger to approach you guys and see what it was all about.
That's very cool. So kind of what have you guys been able to do as a result now? What are some of the things that you've been able to accomplish so far? And what are some of the gains that you guys have seen business-wise?
again, just being able to have systems and automation in place that we could depend on. There's some learning to do, obviously, to put it all in place. But you guys are right there for help. Like the coaching has been phenomenal, better than we've seen elsewhere along those lines. So having that is what allowed having your coaching style where you guys like in real time, like we're on a coaching call, whether it's a personalized, one-to-one coaching call or a group coaching call, when all of a sudden somebody's like able to log in, like kind of share screen, right? And then take over and actually help us make the actual changes instead of just saying, oh, you should go do this. There's recommendations like that, but you guys would actually jump in and help when it was needed. And so that was phenomenal to get everything in place and line us out. And then, we launched ads and actually, at first, like we were struggling to figure out some of our ad copy and stuff and having some trouble with like Facebook wasn't seeming to like our copy. And so we did have some challenges, but the thing is we were able to ask for help and literally have like one-to-one calls with like AG. We finally like just got it dialed and like he like pulled it back, kind of started from scratch with us. And then all of a sudden we had this big turnaround and like with his help, we relaunched our ads and all of a sudden like our cost dropped and we started getting enough leads to where we're making sales.
It was a Facebook miracle.
It was a Facebook miracle.
AG's got the Midas touch.
Well, that and the fact too that you guys have the systems and structure, whereas other groups, masterminds we had been in, we had to build our own systems and structures. They're like, well, you could use this or you could use that, but we were doing everything from scratch also, and that. You don't know what you're doing if you're doing it from scratch and you have nothing to model after.
And the hard thing about that is a lot of different coaches aren't running their own fitness businesses. They don't have any of those systems to even offer you. Right.
Like we've had coaches that came from like they had a fitness business, but it wasn't based on this style of coaching of one-to-one online or group online. So this is revolutionary to us, man. What you guys do, I haven't heard of or seen anything like it elsewhere, and talking to a lot of people in this business. So it seems pretty unique to us from what we found with you guys. So we appreciate you.
Yeah, it's been a fun ride. So I know you were telling me about some of the numbers from last month. So when you guys started launching your ads, how was like your month 1 of doing ads, and then like month 2, and then where are we at now?
I've got the numbers right here.
It's kind of funny because, we had ads out like testing and stuff for a couple of weeks. I think we got like, one sale or something in that first week or two, somewhere in there to get us going. And that was great. And that, it tells you you're doing something in the right direction. And then
we got a little lucky right in the very beginning. We got a few sales, but then like as we started, I'm going to say optimizing more, just things kind of kept getting worse, and so we kept going worse and worse and worse the more we were trying to fix Facebook. And so that's like with reaching out to AG, literally we went from
you're going off screen
like a 1.0 ROI to, so now last week we're up to a 7.
That's
ROI.
awesome.
So I know, it's just thank goodness.
So we'd gone from we kind of just stopped doing organic because we were so burned out, and so we were doing a few like referral sales here and there and, just recurring revenue and serving our current clients for a while we were building some things out. Being honest, Iggy, like, again, we were fine when we started out on this journey a couple of years back and like went full all in and no jobs, whatever, and just plummeted into this thing. But we were running out of money, frankly. Like we had to get this going. And so we let AG know that when we talked about our ad stuff with him. And that's where like he just dove in with us and was like,
jumped on it.
Made sure he pulled us back up. And so it went from like, we're just launching ads and like, a sale or something for a couple weeks to like, once those ads got fixed, the past 2 months we've consistently been, doing like over 10K of like current and expected revenue, coming up in the months coming. 10K plus months for the last 2 with, the ad spend coming in line to where it's a good ROI, like Kristin just said, like return on investment's great. And
that's awesome.
Really been a turnaround.
Yeah. So for you guys, what were some of like, did you have any limiting beliefs before you jumped in, or were there anything that seemed kind of unbelievable before you started?
So I'll be honest. I with the coach that we had kind of right before that, we were all in and going to do this. And we actually had signed up, and I was still kind of in some coaching with this individual. And I was actually being told by them that I made the wrong move and that ads don't work. Right. And, because we talked to Nicole that we talked about, right, that was having success with your program, and then we'd seen the testimonials and everything you guys had already, that gave us the confidence to move forward.
But we still kind of had that ads don't work, you know, like it was just said to us before. It was
like, I was offended that individual told us that. And I'm like, we already just went for this. Like, you're going to try to tell me that right now?
Thanks for nothing.
So what beliefs have been broken now?
Well, we know ads work because we're seeing it firsthand, you know, and we'd been told a lot of the same things. Like the original coaching program we started in, like you were basically told, we will not have you do ads until I think it was at like either 15 or 20K months, for a few months consistently. And, like we'd had like one organic month where we'd hit 18K, but then like we bounced down to like one that was 5K.
Or 3K.
Yeah, so like good luck getting there, right? And then to see this, like we kind of rebooted and redid things and, retargeted a slightly different ICA overall, or, independent or a client avatar. And, to all of a sudden just be able to use ads and get success starting to happen. It's
and how quickly you can move with ads is a lot faster too. Like, cause everything you do, you're gathering data. So you tried one thing, you're like, okay, this didn't work the way that we needed, but now all right, based on this information, we know what not to do. Right? So you tweak a little bit, and then now it's at a point where all it is, you just gotta, so long as they're performing within KPI, you know what your ROI is gonna be, and you can have confidence continuing to push it. Right? So based on kind of like the progress that you guys have made so far, how does that make you guys feel? What are some worries that you had before that are like starting to go away, and how do you feel like it's positively impacted your life?
Well, being dead honest, man, again, like we were on the verge of like going, like, if we don't get this going within the next few weeks or, maybe month or so tops, we were talking about whether we needed to, one of us get a job again or something, start looking, that sort of thing. And went from, that being a possibility or consideration to now like knowing, again, we've hit 2 consistent months in a row that we've done well with, looking forward to this 3rd month of ads being, hopefully we hope to blow that out of the water. That's our intent. That's where we're headed. So it's eliminated, a lot of the fears. And when those shifts finally happen, I think it really, we can have that limiting belief of scarcity thinking, right? And sometimes that can start to look like reality of where you're going if you're not quite there yet. And so to take off all of a sudden and start going has really, I think, pulled our that limiting belief away of that scarcity thinking. And like we know practices like that about abundance thinking and mindset and everything, right? But when things are a little rough, it's easy to dive back into the scarcity.
Yeah, it is.
So
absolutely.
So those have been good shifts to have.
Yeah. And another thing too that, I'm starting to get into is the fact that, we know we have a product that can really help people with like the nutrition that Greg created and like the workouts that we've created. But one of the things that I'm liking with what you guys are doing is you're kind of teaching me how to even level up our program to another level, giving our clients like even just a more well-rounded experience and making sure that we're giving them a great experience when they're with us.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
That's great. So kind of closing out, what would you guys say to somebody who is on the fence? They're like, I've been seeing you guys, I'm not sure if I should take the leap. What would you guys say to somebody like that?
Take the leap.
Yeah. Jump in with 2 feet.
Yeah. Just do it. You'll be so happy you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to show up. You got to show up and do the work. But like, if you do, it's proven to us that it's fruitful. So
yeah,
absolutely. It's not easy. We're not going to guarantee like, hey, it's going to be the easiest thing you've ever done. It is work to get the system in place. You're trying to build a legitimate business, right? But the cool thing is that compounding effect that you guys are starting to see, as you start to bring in clients and you start to get leads from the top end, you're optimizing your messaging, you're optimizing your sales, And then as you start getting clients, you're learning how to optimize your operations so that people stay with you longer, they recommend you more. And now you have this machine that's creating a compounding effect. Or you have one client, you knock it out the water with them, they recommend their friends, and now one client turns into 3, and you're starting to have this exponential growth, which is really, really exciting.
Yep. And I think we really appreciate that. Like, you guys really will walk us to the next level. Like, even we were talking right before, we did this about, VA and starting to, like, buy our time back by getting a VA that's messaging for us, things like that, so that we can start to move to the next level, replace ourselves, and then start to scale more, be working on our business instead of in our business more, that kind of thing. And so we really appreciate that that's available here too. And you guys don't stop. Like, you're building out more systems to help your clients and serve your clients more like us, to help us better. It's not just, here's our program, we're going to leave it that way. You guys are always growing, improving, sharing with us and bringing us, like, the things you put together. Like, I will say, like, having the copy and paste kind of system you guys do, that, like, you're not afraid to let us borrow what you have and use it. Like, I feel like we've had coaches where they'll give you forms and some stuff like that, but, like, you guys are giving us whole systems. Like, you need to build a landing page. Like, here's a whole template for you, and then just tweak it where you want to make it your own. And but you can get in action right away and just put it out there, right, to have something to start with. And that's been amazing too. Most people don't offer that kind of stuff.
Hit the ground running.
Yeah, we want to leave you without excuse.
Right.
So if it means giving away the entire farm and making sure you have everything on a silver platter, no excuse to not crush it.
That's a lot of what makes it possible, though, I think, too, Iggy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it can be it can be without the systems you give and all the templates you're willing to share, of, like, you're sharing, like, a lot of your exact stuff you use in your program, or, like, AP and AG are sharing stuff they have in their exact program. The other coaches do, like, sharing scripts with you, all that kind of stuff gets shared around. And, like, that has been massive, because it could be overwhelming otherwise, but that makes it decreases the overwhelm, which is one of the idea business killers, right, for entrepreneurs. So.
Absolutely. So, well, you guys have been an absolute joy. We went a little bit over, but I think it was absolutely worth it. Thank you for jumping on. I know that your story is going to inspire a lot of people, especially being a couple, and being able to actually work together. You guys have strengths and weaknesses that perfectly complement each other, which is fantastic. All right. So I think you're just a great inspiration. And so for those of you guys who are listening, if you want to find out more, go ahead and there'll be a link somewhere for you guys to check out our page and be able to book a business audit and just have us look at your business to see how and if we're able to help you. But until next time, we'll catch you guys later.